Why is everything politics and violence for these people? Dele Farotimi is a prominent human rights lawyer. Is currently entangled in a legal and political battle that highlights systemic issues within the Nigerian judiciary. His case began with a charge of criminal defamation against senior lawyer Afe Babalola. The accusation stems from claim Farotimi made in his book, where he mentioned certain lawyers and individuals in a way they alleged is defamatory. However, the real controversy arises from how the judiciary is handling his case. Farotimi's lawyer argued that criminal defamation is no longer part of Ekiti state law, having been repeated in 2021. Despite this, the magistrate didn't release him, but instead sent him back to prison for another 10 days while deciding on bail. This is unusual because the charge he is being detained for is based on a law that doesn't exist anymore. The defense argues that the case itself lacks legal merit, yet the judiciary seems determined to hold him. The atmosphere surrounding the case has been tensed. Outside the court, individuals alleged linked to those supporting the prosecution intimidated Farotimi's friend and associate who came to show support. Meanwhile, a small protest in his favor took place at King's College, London. While the turnout wasn't massive, it demonstrated international awareness of his plight. The seizure of his book adding another layer of complexity. A lawyer named KU, who is associated with Afe Babalola Chambers, filed a motion in an Abuja High Court to confiscate all copies of Farotimi's book from bookstores and online platforms like Amazon. Redirect the royalties from these sales to him as part of a 500 million naira defamatory claim. The court granted this notion without even hearing from Farotimi. This raises serious questions about due process. How can a court approve such a sweeping motion without giving the accused a chance to defend himself? If enforced, this could lead to the seizure of Farotimi's intellectual property and income. It also sets a dangerous precedent where someone can approach a court, file a notion, and gain significant financial or legal advantage without the other party being present or heard. Farotimi's case highlights a major issue with the Nigerian judiciary: inconsistency in legal procedures. Different courts seems to follow different rules, even on similar matters. For example, the Abuja High Court granted KU's notion without summoning Farotimi. Another defamation suit filed by a different lawyer in Ondo State High Court gave Farotimi 30 days to respond as is standard practice. This inconsistency undermines trust in the system. It also reflects a larger problem where some courts prioritize personal interest over fairness, ignoring established legal precedents, including rulings by the Supreme Court. Farotimi has long been a critic of the judiciary and the political system in Nigeria. However, he remains a firm believer in using the legal system to fight for justice. He anticipated pushback after publishing his book and was ready to defend himself in court. He expected a civil defamation case where the accusers will need to prove that his claim harmed their reputation and business. Instead, he's facing criminal charges for a repealed law. Effort to seize his properties and income. Farotimi seems this tactic is a way to silence him and punish him financially rather than seeking genuine justice. Farotimi's case is not about him, it reflects the state of the judiciary in Nigeria. Courts are granting notions and rulings that appear to bypass fairness and due process. The abuse of legal processes, the use of criminal charge and asset seizure to suppress dissenting voices raises a concern about freedom of expression, public perception. Ironically, the actions of his detractors have made Farotimi's book more popular, turning it into a bestseller. This shows how public opinion is often at odds with the actions of the judiciary. This isn't the first time Farotimi has faced persecution. He shared the story how for 6 years he battled a case brought against him by the Economic and Financial Crime Commission (EFCC). He was effectively sentenced to pay a huge sum unless freed by the Court of Appeal. Despite the ordeal, he didn't make the struggles public, choosing instead to fight quietly with the system. Farotimi's situation is a cautionary tale about the fragility of justice in Nigeria. While he sits in prison, many believe the judiciary and criminal justice system are the ones truly on trial. The public is watching closely as this case unfolds. The outcome will likely have lasting implications for freedom of speech, legal fairness, and accountability in Nigeria. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to this channel for more videos and more information.